Hi, Sandy Baptist Church. It's been about 5 weeks now since we've gathered together in person, and so we wanted to make this short little video as a way to interact with you all and encourage you all while you are at home. So we have a few questions that we're going to be asking each other, and we'd encourage you guys to send in your questions, write them down in the comments section, and who knows, maybe we'll make another one of these videos and answer your questions. So
yeah, and you can ask them specifically or just general, or to maybe some of us that aren't here, maybe even
Mike.
some for those. So I'm gonna ask the first question here. We've got When and where did you meet your wife?
that is a really good question, and it depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I remember meeting Amy at a party at a friend's house. It was kind of a get to know you party that some of her friends had thrown for her when she transferred to Mount Hood Community College in the winter of 2013. So I remember meeting her there, but she will say she didn't remember meeting me until the next week when a group of that same bunch of friends went out to see Wreck-It Ralph at the Mount Hood Theater in Gresham. So she remembers meeting me at the movie theater, but I remember meeting her the week prior. So what about you?
I met Caitlin in the 6th grade. I moved from one school to another, and halfway through, I met Caitlin. And the crazy thing is, because it was 6th grade, and of course everybody's telling everybody who they had crushes on, I told Caitlin's best friend that I had a crush on her. And so Caitlin knew that I had a crush on her starting in 6th grade, but we didn't start dating until the senior year of high school. So we had this weird, flirty, crushy relationship for 6 years straight.
Were you playing hard to get, or was she?
Oh, I know. I don't know. It just didn't. She'd come up behind me at the high school. She'd never talk to me because she's very quiet. But she'd come up and she'd give me a flat tire every day on the way to class. So that's how I knew that we were still friends. But she
That's
didn't
so
talk to me.
All right, number 2. What was your favorite hobby at that time? What was your
For
favorite
me,
hobby?
well, 6th grade. So you know, I don't know that I know. I spent a lot of time outside doing bow and arrows with my brother. Accidentally shot him in the face. Sorry, Dino. And we started working at camp around that time. So yeah, that's kind of what I was up to.
Were you guys? Did you play wall ball or foursquare?
No, but we play wall ball now.
I played a lot of wall ball in middle school. For me, when my wife and I first met, at that time I'd only been a believer for a couple of years, so I have really fond memories of sitting on my computer playing Minecraft and listening to sermons in the background. So I had a lot of free time on my hands, but it was, I was partially able to redeem the time and listen to God's word while killing zombies on Minecraft. So good times.
I learned from the students recently, they'll be mad that I'm saying this, but I thought the whole point of Minecraft was to build things, and I learned recently, and I've played Minecraft, and I learned that, apparently that's not the main point.
Teach his own.
All right, what is your favorite hobby now?
My favorite hobby now. I could go with the hanging out with my family. I really do enjoy going on walks, spending time with Felicity and Finn and Amy, and just our family time together. Whether it's building with Legos or trains that we borrowed from the nursery. Thanks, guys. We have a lot of fun doing that. Outside of that, I really still do like reading books if I find I have spare time where the family isn't around. You'll probably catch me reading or listening to podcasts or something like that.
Well, then I have to follow up by saying spending time with my wife is my best hobby. I like my wife, but I really enjoy crabbing. I think crabbing's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that a bit, not super recently, but I enjoy cooking. It's probably the thing that I spend the most time on. I've got a little chicken brining in the fridge right now, so I enjoy cooking and crabbing and hanging out with my wife, spending time with my wife all the time.
He makes, for those of you that don't know this, Patrick makes a really delicious chicken dish with rice and chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
Yeah, super good.
It's prep time.
Really, really good. So, my turn.
Your turn, I think.
What is the farthest place you've ever traveled?
Farthest I've ever traveled is to Bolivia. I went on a short-term missions trip there. We went to a few different cities, La Paz and Cochabamba in Bolivia. Spent about 2 weeks traveling around, serving, building churches, putting in a lot of brick floors for places, doing that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
I think technically Hawaii is the farthest I've ever been. It was a 5-hour plane ride all over water, really boring. But once you get there, it's nice. So I've been to Hawaii. Inland, I've been up to the southern part of Alaska, like in Juneau, and I've been down to Mexico a couple of times. Mission for Mexico. So yeah, that's about the farthest that I've traveled.
What is your favorite place you've traveled?
That's a good one. I have really good memories, actually from all the places that I mentioned. When I went to Alaska, we were on a cruise with my family. A couple of funny stories from that family cruise that maybe would be better to share at another time. And of course, going down to Mexico, that was, always a great time on the Mission for Mexico trip. But I think probably one of my favorite places that I visited was Amy and I went to Yellowstone for our anniversary.
Yellowstone.
And it was great. It was the first time I had ever been. She'd been there several times before, but we went to Yellowstone. It was just the two of us. We spent time hanging out with her aunt and uncle that live in Montana, and yeah, I got to go to Yellowstone for the first time, and it was a blast. It was beautiful, beautiful country, and I saw a buffalo for the first time in my life, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think my favorite place, just like the location itself, probably Glacier National Park. I've been there a couple times, and it's just like sprawling, beautiful, amazing. The water's super clear. You can see straight through. And so that probably, as far as like the most beautiful place, probably that. Caitlin and I like to go to Astoria. And so that I have probably the most memories of going to Astoria and just enjoying the time there with Caitlin and I. But as far as like the actual place, Glacier is just incredible.
Now that when you mention that, I should say I have a lot of fond memories going up to Seattle. We spent a lot of time in Seattle as a kid, both going to Mariners games and hanging out at Pike's Place, and so there's a lot of really fond memories there in Seattle as well. So, what's the best book you've read in the last year?
Read some good ones. My favorite that I've read in the last year or so is probably Gay Girl, Good God by Jackie Hill Perry. It deals obviously in the title with the issue of homosexuality, but it's so much more than that. It's a book on sin and just what our relationship is with sin, and so it's I'd hate to say that it's a side point, that homosexuality is a side point in the book, but the real focus is sin and the relationship with sin and us and God, and she does a super good job with it. So highly recommend.
Nice.
What about you?
Amy and I have been listening through the Tillamook County Library Hoopla app. We've actually been listening to audio recordings of the Chronicles of Narnia series. So I've never read those before, so they are quite an adventure, and we're just about done with Prince Caspian. We listened to a lot of it this last week, and it's really, really good. So I've really enjoyed those. Those have been lots of fun.
Yeah. Are you listening to the Blackstone audio ones?
I think so. Yeah, that's the one where Sir Patrick Stewart does the very last one. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Good.
Yeah, they are
Such good
really,
books.
really well done.
Yeah, I've been listening to the C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy, actually. I'm about 3/4 of the way through Paralandra. So, there you go.
Exciting. I think so.
What are you reading in the scriptures right now?
So Amy and I are actually doing a Bible read-through plan with the Gospel Coalition. So we're in a couple of different places. We're reading through Leviticus. We've obviously worked since the beginning of the year. We're in Leviticus in one spot. We're in Ecclesiastes another, and then we're almost done with Paul's letters as well, because we're in 2 Timothy. So kind of all over the place, and reading Psalms as well. But good stuff, and it's kind of fun to see how, even if I don't think they planned it this way, but there's been more days, more often than not, where something you read in the Old Testament, you'll be like, oh, that same idea is being brought up here in the New Testament. It's really cool. We're just bringing different connections as you read through it. So.
I've been doing a read-through, similar one that me and my friend Nathan made up. But the books that I've been doing the most reading and thinking about recently are actually Obadiah, that book that you've never heard of, in the Minor Prophets. I've been thinking a lot about that book, and then also 2 Timothy. I've been doing a lot of reading and thinking in that as well. So, yeah. I think that's yours, right?
Oh, is it? Last one. Could be a good one. What do you most miss about gathering together?
Man, it's just so odd coming into the building. We're all here working, and so it's so weird to not have the building set up and getting ready for everybody to come and join us. For me personally, I love the interaction of talking and preaching when I see your guys' faces and see the way that you're reacting to what I'm saying. I love that interaction, and so that's the hardest for me. I'm getting ready for my next message, and I'm looking at a camera and just like, how do I keep it interesting? How do I keep it engaging? And I really enjoy having the interaction when preaching, but also just, I miss seeing the same people, the same faces every Sunday, and seeing Brian Hackler out there brooming, or I guess we call that sweeping. Brooming, sweeping the front. The Cassings working the coffee. It's just, I just miss a lot of the interaction that we have every week.
Yeah, I ditto on all of that. And for me, I think I really do miss, and I'm really looking forward to being able to hear the congregation singing together, and to see the congregation singing. Honestly, for me, I may have told some of you guys this before, but it's a huge encouragement while I'm up on the platform singing, to be able to look out at the congregation of God's saints, and to see them engaging and singing along and raising their hands and clapping and cheering and looking up, or with their eyes closed and bowed, knowing that people are meeting with God and connecting with God in that way is such a blessing to me. I always enjoy seeing that, and I've really missed that aspect of our gathering.
So we have 2 questions for you guys that we want you to go ahead and answer in the comments below. The first is, what are you reading in the scriptures right now?
And what do you most miss about gathering together?
So go ahead and throw your answers in the comments. Throw your questions that you want us to answer in the future in the comments, And we'll make another one of these if we get some questions. So,
Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.
all right, see you guys.